Hi, I'm Gregory Hoag, and together with my wife Gail, we're going to be talking to you today about some of the aspects of the I.Connect.
Great. So Gregory, can you tell us about the technology of sacred geometry that's a part of the I.Connect?
There's so much going on with the I.Connect that involves sacred geometry, and one of the basic things is something called a torus. Now, this is also what science refers to as a black hole. That is a point at the center of the galaxy, the point that actually moves energy through the planet, through us, and through each one of our atoms. It's basically moving from the outside into the center, and the backside becomes the white hole where energy is coming into existence. So the I.Connect itself is formed with a torus, the outside shell. Now, another aspect of sacred geometry that we're using with the I.Connect is something called the phi ratio. Now, this is the way everything in creation that grows organically, human beings, plants, animals, insects, they all work with the phi ratio relationship. You see, this is a calipers that measures this phi ratio. And so by working with the middle digit of my finger, you can see my middle finger forms a phi ratio relationship, the top digit to the bottom of the finger. And then the finger to my hand is in a phi ratio relationship. My elbow to the wrist and my finger is in a phi ratio relationship. And this is that famous drawing that you see from Leonardo da Vinci of a person with their arms outstretched, showing how every aspect of the body on the outside and even on the inside right down to our DNA is working with the phi ratio relationship. And so when we are working with the I.Connect, you're going to see that there are a number of forms that are on the surface, the face of the I.Connect.
The geometries is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, now those are two-dimensional geometries. What we've done is we've taken three-dimensional geometries. This is one that is on the face, and you see these geometries, because they follow particular patterns like the phi ratio, they can bring energy into the physical dimension. Subtle energies start flowing in from higher dimensions, following the waveguides of the geometric forms that actually resonate with these higher energies as archetypes, as perfect examples of the way certain energies and angles work.
So if the energies are actually related to these different angles, and these geometries are so important in the creation of life, of our bodies, of nature, all of those kinds of things, then those same subtle energies are really important for all aspects of our life, aren't they?
Absolutely. And so the problem is that they don't come through easily anymore, especially for people that live in the cities, that are surrounded by concrete, that live in homes built out of concrete and rebar, and lots of frequencies coming in from computers, from lights, and the kinds of foods we're eating. All of this blocks subtle energy flow. And the forms act as an antenna system, and these forms actually have different perspectives where those patterns can be seen, where when you find those particular patterns, then you can bring them into the geometries of a two-dimensional structure and capture the three-dimensional energy.
Interesting. So that kind of a form, even though it's on a flat face, like on this I.Connect, it still has a very important resonance. Is that right?
Well, it resonates with the energy of the three-dimensional form when I capture the three perspectives. There are three different perspectives of a geometric form that each has a very perfect mandala, so to speak. When I find the three aspects of a three-dimensional form and I put those inside a circle as I have on the I.Connect, then I can capture the energy of the three-dimensional form because I have three particular essential snapshots of that form.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So this form in particular, just to show you how it's constructed, I'm going to show you how this aspect, well, how can I show you this? This aspect right here, cutting across, is one aspect of the phi ratio, and that connects to the long point. You see, each of these rhomboids, each of these diamond shapes are in a phi ratio relationship, and that if you cut it in half, you get a very particular angle when you work with a phi ratio triangle, and that is something called 32 degrees. See, 32 degrees is very intimately related to the phi ratio and our physical reality. You see, in the center of this form is a cube, and that cube, when it raises up at an angle of 32 degrees, it forms a dodecahedron. And you see, cube is physical matter. It's the earth. It's density. And so 32 degrees is the particular angle that's needed to take density into a dodecahedron, which is what the ancients called the form that relates to ether, subtle energy. And that's what this is all about. It's bringing the density into relationship with the subtle energetic fields all around us.
How important to teach people about how to work with those subtle energies. And it's really quite wonderful that what we're working with the I.Connect, is enabling people to have an experience of the subtle energies. And some people feel it and some people don't, right? And what we're finding that I think is very important is that whether you feel the energy or you're not, it still works. It still is working because the sacred geometry creates that. It is a given. And sometimes people are getting the I.Connects and they are feeling it for a while and they go, well, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not sure whether this is actually working or not. And that's a really important question for us to talk about, because whether you feel it or not, again, is not the indicator. When you get to a point with the I.Connect or any of these subtle energy tools, you get familiar with it. Your body becomes familiar with it. Just like if you go into a hot room, it might feel very hot at first, and then after a while, you get used to the temperature. So when we get used to it, that's the good news. Because then what we can do is we can use it to, just like with this toroidal form, I love this so much, because as this is moving in and out of itself, so goes the way our life is. You know, sometimes people will say, you know, I thought I had already dealt with that issue about my father. And it comes up again, right? Because there's another level. And that's what this toroidal flow shows us, that all of a sudden it pops up again. And it's an opportunity for us to get to a deeper awareness, a greater awareness. So these subtle energies, when we get used to them, then we can start really playing with them. We can work with these energies for manifestation, for a greater understanding of our purpose, for our ability to be able to really participate in life full on and not be hampered by some of the issues that we've experienced in our past.
Excellent. So the I.Connect is making a difference for all of us, and it's proving to be absolutely essential in our lives and in the lives of hundreds and hundreds of people that are telling us all the things that they're doing. So let us know what it's doing for you, and we'll look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you, and blessings.
Blessings.